Hello and welcome to another of my videos. In today's video I'm going to be going through about £7,500 worth of gold. It's not really a lot to show, but there's some nice bits. There's some bullion, there's some semi-numi. I got a tiny bit of silver. I got a silver coin. I think I'll show that. That's kind of nice. Before I do get into it, firstly I want to thank the people who watched my last video. It kind of went semi-viral, I guess, in relative terms. I think it's done 2,000 views since I put it out and 26 subs, which I wasn't really expecting. It is most appreciated. Let's get into the coins. So there's 3 1-ounce gold Britannias. These have been sold, so I had some people penciled in for 1-ounce Brits. If you are watching it, don't worry, I'm expecting more. It was simply a case of I haven't been sleeping that well. And the gentleman I was speaking to was like, "What bullion do you have?" And I said, "Well, I've just had some 1-ounce Brits come in," and he opted to take all 3 of them. So I kind of used it as a cheat day, but I am expecting more in. Looking at the pricing's gone a bit silly. Like, if you see the big online dealers in the UK, I think one of them was priced at 7.5% over, and the other was 5% plus post. Crazy numbers. Obviously I didn't charge that. I don't really work that way, so I paid the traditional rate. I sold for the traditional rate. I could have asked for an extra 2% on them, but it's just not in my nature. Maybe I'm not really cut out to be cutthroat businessman. But yeah, these came in and went straight back out, so I was more than happy to kind of give the gentleman a fair rate. There was also some sovereigns. So there was 4 sovereigns on the order. So these come from my regular supplier. He gave me some bad news about some other sovereigns. 10 soft guy, apparently he wanted more money, but I doubt I'll be seeing any more of those sovereigns. It's okay. You can't win them all, and customers come and go on both the buy and sell side. Now, in terms of these are the 2017, all 4 of them are. They're 2017 with the privy mark. They're in pretty good condition. I'm pretty sure this is a gentleman who bought a tube of these and he's just been picking them off as and when. Now, why it's the only sovereign with a privy mark, I don't know. I think they've kind of missed a trick. Do these go for more money? Slightly, but we're not talking crazy amounts. We're talking a few extra quid, you know, maybe 5 quid at a push. It's nice to see them. It helps me out when they come in. I make very thin margins on all this stuff. I make the margin on the more specialty coins. In terms of, you know what, I'll show you the silver next. I think the silver is really nice. I've been kind of building a collection of silver £5 coins. This came in to the supplier. Don't really know much about it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really didn't. I said to the gentleman, "How much do you want?" Just like the look of it, really. And he quoted me 25, and I was like, you know what, I've kind of got a fledgling collection going on. I'd pay 25 for it. It's not a problem. Now, it's probably not a smart buy in terms of trading. I don't know what it's worth. It could be worth, if it's worth £30, I'm working for free essentially, because of how much it will cost to send the box alone. Like, that's I think it's £4.55 at the top of my head. But yeah, just really like the design, so I thought I'd add it to my fledgling collection. You know, it will be for sale once I have a price, but if it doesn't sell, I'm more than happy to keep it. Now, the next coins, I was actually really happy to see these. This is from a gentleman I've bought and sold to him over the years. So he sold me, you're going to know what this is from the last video, but he ended up selling me, it was a PF70 for 400. This is actually the first time I've opened them, so I don't know what the condition is like. You'd like to think they're in top condition. Let's have a look. So this is the half. For those of you that watched my last video, you know I've got 10 of them. I said there was 2 more coming in. Really like this design. I ended up paying $425 for it raw, so you can see that there's been appreciation of prices since the Queen's passed away. I have no control over that, sadly. I'd love to say that this will grade a 70. Don't know until it comes back. But I'm going to be in it for, what, $450. He originally wanted $450 on it, and I said to him, I end up buying the next thing I'll show you, and he was like, do you want the half as well? And I said, I do, but not at $450. It's probably worth $450 these days. I'm not going to dispute that. But for me, if I'm buying, I kind of want an out, you know, and I don't want to be loading my reserve. I don't want to be loading my stock book with coins that I have to wait on the potential of the price going up. So he offered it for $425. I happily, hypothetically shook his hand on that because I thought it was a fair deal. He knows I'm in the trade. So, and last but not least, probably should have got this out of the box before. Oh, probably shouldn't have sent me that. Yep, I will dispose of that in the correct way. He's done okay out of that. I've just seen the price. It's got the delivery note in the box. He didn't take it out, but I'll shred that. Don't worry about that, buddy. I'll sort that for you. Don't want your details getting out there, that's for sure. So this is the 3 coin set. Oh, let's put that over there. I am sorry about being unprepared on this. So this has got the full, the half, and the quarter. Now, he had this priced at, I think it was $14.25, and I'm looking at, you guys know I want the halves. The halves were my concern. But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know what, once you break it down, if I get it graded, again, working off the assumption that they get 70s, they should get 70s in theory. You just break it down. So this is currently a £1,000 coin. That's a £500 coin. I wouldn't be shocked if this is a $250 coin at the moment in the 70. I'll need to check. I don't always know the price off the top of my head. It's such a dynamic market that the prices can move around. But if I'm in it for $14.25, grading is going to cost me, say, £75. I'm in it for $1,500. So if these grade 70s, $1,500 is covered in these 2, and then this one's kind of a free carry. So that's where I'm going to make my margin. Now, in terms of breaking that down, say that is a $250 coin. You know, what's that? A sixth? I'm more than happy to kind of work on that. There is risk involved. You know, I do have to move them up the value curve. It does take time, but I think it's a great set. Let's turn it over. They look like top coins. Knowing the gentleman, you know, I don't know if that's a fleck. We'll find out in the grading. But knowing a gentleman, like, he does look after his stuff, so I had no problems with that. So yeah, that's kind of the rationale why I bought these, why I paid what I paid. I will be keeping these 2 if they grade 70s, that's for sure. I'm not really dead set on getting to the 20 that I had planned to buy. I think that ship has kind of sailed, but if I can pick them up for around the 450 mark at PF70, you know, I'll add a few more. I don't want to be paying more than that. I think when you're knocking on the door of 500, it's, as a dealer, it becomes harder and harder to see it. You know, I do think there'd be a £600 coin, but I need to factor in for that margin of error and how long I have to hold on to these coins for it to be that. So yeah, that's about £7,500 worth of coins. Some lovely bits. If the grader is watching, hey, these are coming to you. Oh, I've got some other coins I need to, I don't think I showed you guys. These are are going in as well. Pick this up. I probably paid more than I should have on this. And there's some 1988. These are spoiled proofs, but I'm going to send them in for grading because I just want to see, I just want to test to see how far they can kind of restore these coins. They're not going to get 70s. None of these coins are 70s out of these three. But if I can get some value uplift on them from what I paid, I don't really mind that. I've got no problem grading these coins if you can get that eye appeal back and you can find the right buyer for it. They're not going to go for top prices, but on the 1998 you don't see many of these sovereigns. The fact that I saw two in one go was a bit of a bonus. So I hope you've enjoyed the coins, and I'll see you on the next one.